Hi, Donna.
Hi,
Donna.
Sarah.
This is the second time you've been here at Magic of Midlife. And
Honored.
yeah, and last time we were talking about the book you wrote. So you're Donna Davidge, and you wrote the book Balancing with Bunions, and we spoke about that more about ancestry. And now you've just put in another book proposal. So perhaps you would like to introduce it. But from my perspective, it's about untangling the knots of life to find your soul purpose. Because as midlife women, we're looking for pearls of wisdom by harnessing the power of our intuition through awareness and curiosity. And to do this, we have to face our fears. And I think it can be done by understanding our chakras, and that's what you know an awful lot about. So would you like to introduce your book and just explain a little bit more how we can connect to ourselves through feeling within our body?
Yes,
Yeah.
definitely. So the chakras are, for anyone who doesn't know out there, they are energy centers along the spine. Some people call them vortexes. And some people think they're physically exist, and other people are like, no, they're energy. They're just energy. Of course, energy does exist. But let's just say this, they've been around for at least 5,000 years because yoga goes back 5,000 years. So they are the foundation of any yoga practice. However, my book, which I was originally going to call Demystifying the Chakras, because a few people I know, one is a Vinyasa yoga teacher and one is my student for many years. They both were like, I just really don't understand the chakras yet. I need them demystified. And there's nothing really that mystical about them. And I'll explain that. However, they are an amazing tool for self-awareness and healing. So I changed the title, Healing Through Kundalini Awareness. Now, why is the word chakra not in that title? Because the Kundalini energy, if someone has not heard about it out there, is the life force energy, which is considered to be stored at the base of the spine. And the image of it is a serpent. So when we move and when we breathe, the serpent wakes up and it spirals up the spine, literally a 3.5 turn coil up the spine. And what does it travel up? The chakras. And so I decided to put the word Kundalini in there because one of the people that you and I know in common said that she was more curious about understanding what Kundalini was. And so I decided to put that word there, and that if someone didn't even know what it was, to be curious about it, what is it that would be healing me? Healing through Kundalini awareness. So some type of awareness. And so that's why I chose that title. And then the subtitle was Simple Steps for courage, inner calm, and clarity. And I think going back to what you said, intuition always gives us clarity. And so really this book is a journey through the chakras, but not very technically so. I wanted it to be something and like relatively small book format that you could kind of grab and like read when you're traveling or read before you go to bed or that kind of a thing, or grab because one day you want to work on your heart a little more or your navel a little more, and just let people know what is the symbolism. And so I use case studies from my almost 40 years of teaching, and the tools that I present are primarily from Kundalini yoga, which is one of many forms of yoga, which really addresses the chakras. If you've ever practiced Kundalini yoga, really addresses the chakras. And one of the other things, and then I'll let you ask and tell me more, is that Kundalini yoga very much helps us tune into our intuition. Why? Because your eyes are closed and you're focusing right between your eyebrows. I'm pointing there. The third eye is the ajna, or sixth chakra of intuition. So we call that sixth sense, right?
Yes, and I remember a while back I was doing a meditation and I actually managed to get this amazing awareness through that third eye, and it was almost like I was floating through clouds and all these, you don't have to think, just these things.
No, it's definitely, it's not about thinking. It's about like focusing there and being. And if someone out there doesn't have, some woo-woo experience, they're still tuning into the thing that helps them make decisions in life. And so I think it's really cool what you said, because it's very true. Because when you focus there, we are finite. And this was something I was going to put in the book. I haven't decided yet, but people in the support group really liked it, that we are finite experiencing being in the infinite. And the way we connect to the infinite is here energetically. We also do out the top of the head, the crown chakra. But the idea is that this is where anything is possible. So as I was telling you before we started the interview, when I first started teaching Kundalini in the mid 1980s, I had a little business card with a stick figure. I really like stick figures. And it said, you know, fulfill your potential. Because that is what I think when you open the energy and you focus to your third eye happens. And it shifted the direction of my life, and very much in a more alive direction, not only more healthy and more constructive. I've always had a lot of energy, but using that aliveness to feel alive. I know that sounds really strange, but a friend yesterday, who's a fellow yoga teacher, shared a little clip with me on Instagram from Osho, and they were asking him all these questions. And he was like, no, we're just alive. Like all we have is life, right? He's like, what is your philosophy? He's like, no, this is our life. And so we might be talking about the philosophy of chakras right now with that awareness. Healing through Kundalini awareness, we feel more alive. By the way, that means when you're sad, you feel more sad. When you're angry, you feel more angry. You need to learn how to be alive. And those things are given to us. How do we deal with it in a healthy way?
Yeah. So your little card said, fulfill your potential. And you and I often say that we come up with similar lines. Mine is unleash your potential.
Exactly. Well, we're unleashing that Kundalini. So yours is even better for a Kundalini practitioner.
Well, it's the same thing. And potential is about finding your soul purpose.
Exactly.
And to find your soul purpose, it's not out there, it's inside you. And it's
Definitely.
going back through your life lessons, however hard they are. And sometimes they come thick and fast and hard, but we have to get to the awareness below them.
Absolutely. And those are the ones that really make us strong. I mean, I had a period in my life, which you read in my first book, and like 3 things were falling down at one time. My marriage was falling down. I thought I was going to lose my historic home. I lost my main source of income as a yoga instructor in New York City. And it all happened at the same time. And it wasn't because I wasn't doing my job well. It's because I was gone half the year running a yoga retreat. And after 18 years, they're like, okay, us or them. And I'm like, them, I'm choosing my retreat. So you have to listen to your soul and listen to your heart, because the rational side would have been, wait a second, right now I'm losing everything. I better keep that income. But then I would have been giving up the business. That's my soul child, my soul child. I actually just, the universe came along and supported. And that was in my, I'm trying to think, when did that happen in my life? That was in my 50s more, you know, I'm not sure where your age group falls, but, you know, it was my late 50s-ish that started to happen. It was like pretty scary. And, but I kept with my soul purpose. And so I think you're right. You go through these challenging times, you come through the other side stronger.
Yeah. And we have to push through the comfort zone all the time, because our mind will always pull us back to that safe haven.
Absolutely. Every day.
Every day. Yeah, we've got to find that flow and trust the universe to keep us in the, I refer to it as a North Star. We've got to align North Star, but other people have different ways of saying it. So it's a lot of people say I don't have time for that, and I'm one of them. I know I should do it, and I'm learning how to do it, but it's creating a new routine for it to find that time for yourself, morning or nights. Have you got any recommendations for that?
Yes, I heard of a new book called Healing Through Kundalini Awareness. I'm joking. No, the reason I said that is because that's exactly what I'm doing. Like when we had to say, what is our target audience? I had just met a woman. I taught a Kundalini yoga writing thing that I do. I do the Kundalini part, and there's a writing teacher. And she said, I get up in the morning and I'm up and going. And I think she might have even been retired by then. She was like in her 50s, maybe not, maybe 60. And she wasn't old. And that's not old to me. And she said, how do I not do that? And then the friend that was with her, who was the writing instructor, we went out to lunch after, said, well, when I'm taking my daughter to school in the morning, I turn on my Kundalini music. And then I set aside time at the end of the day. And sometimes it's only 20 minutes. Her end of the day would be around 4 or 5. And I've got this set I do for 20 minutes. And so that is what the gist of this is. This is not a yoga manual. These are little chapters telling you about the chakras, case studies of how this has helped people. And some of them are still doing it years later, just doing a little thing like for prosperity for your navel for 3 minutes a day. I'm not going to show you, it may look silly, but hud, 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 hud. You feel such power after doing that for 3 minutes. It helps you be really focused, really directed. So that would be my answer, is that was one of the reasons I wrote the book the way I wrote it. It's not as many words as the contest that, you know, was entered asked for, but I like, no, people have short attention spans, and they don't have enough time in their day. Like me, I prioritize a good 4 days a week, doing an hour and a half or 2. Do I do that every day? No, not 7 days, because I'm also very busy. The other days, shorter moments. So for people that's not their lifestyle, shorter moments, doable moments will make a difference. They will. I was so interested when I did my research for this book to ask these people, and years later, they're like, oh yeah, every night I do an 11-minute meditation, or every morning I do this for 3 minutes and chant that other thing for 5 minutes. And that's what they do to stay centered and grounded.
Yeah, that's amazing. You know, you mentioned clarity earlier on, and I think clarity is a key word for us in women in midlife and beyond, because I've put clarity and simplicity together. For me, I'm finding I'm shedding a lot of things. You know, I'm shedding people, I'm shedding things, I'm shedding ideas and beliefs and coming into myself. And that's clarity, right? It's
very much so. And it really is true that we live in a very complicated time. And when I bought my great grandpa's house back in 97, I came up with this saying, simplicity in a complex world. Well, now it's even more complex. And so I think simplicity is really important. That's why the subtitle of my book is Simple Steps, because people need to know that what they're going to find in the book is simple. They don't have to, you know, do an hour and a half or 2. Now, if they enjoy it and they get more benefit, they may increase the time. But what I have found is sometimes that is counterintuitive, and then they drop the practice if they're trying to do too much. So yeah, we don't live in simple times. So we have to get that clarity. Every day, I feel like every day I'm super productive. I'm a solopreneur, I guess you'd say. And from the time I get up in the morning, I need to have whatever that is, my quiet time, my meditation time, my move my body time. I have a dog, and that's good because it gets me out walking in addition to yoga. And it's like a way of meditating. So you have to decide and make that a priority, because I think we're just too cluttered. And so clarity is really, really important. Yeah.
Lots of C's there: cluttered, clarity. And another C is about connection. So it's about connecting to ourselves, connecting to others, and connecting to something greater than ourselves.
And actually, when you mentioned connection, and as I was researching this book, another thing that came up for me, because yoga is based on reverence for nature, is that I found an article that said there's actually, and I don't remember the name of it, but there's a condition they have labeled now for people who are actually afraid of nature and would rather destroy nature than be in it. And that breaks my heart, because the chakras all relate to an element. The first chakra is earth. The second is water. The third is fire. The fourth is air. Then we get up to ether and into space. And we are part of nature. We came from nature. We're going to go back to nature. And it is proven that when we go out in nature, our immune systems are boosted and our brains benefit. And so that is a tenet of my book. And one of the books that I used as a comparison is called Sacred Nature. Well, we're sacred too, and we need to realize that. I start the book talking about the lotus flower. The lotus flower, it's in the mud, which is the earth. It needs the water, it needs the sun, it needs the air, and then it's a 1,000-petaled lotus. I know that looks funny, but that's the last chakra, is this beautiful 1,000-petaled lotus, which is our brain. So we are nature. We are just like that lotus flower.
Yeah.
We need that connection.
Yeah, I think the realization that we are nature is so important. We are part of the ecosystem, and we've got to care for it just as it cares for us.
Exactly. And of course, there's a very large movement in that direction. But that was just such a revelation for me to see, just like I saw a few years ago, there's a condition for people that sit so much in the office that they literally have no muscle tone. And a good friend of mine, actually, she passed away, and that was sort of part of her condition at age 64. So you're working with women in midlife. You've got to keep moving your body. It doesn't have to be yoga, but go out and walk or stretch or whatever it is. You've got to keep moving your body. And so,
yeah. And there's another C there. COVID caused a lot of problems for a lot of people. We became very sedentary. I was one of them. And I know I've got to get out there.
It caused a lot, and mental and physical and emotional post-traumatic stress stuff is happening. That was another one of my concepts in this book, is it's post-pandemic, and that people are still really struggling mentally and physically to get back, and emotionally and spiritually, and that people are seeking spirituality as a way of healing. And I feel the Kundalini, this yoga, even though I do a little chapter on other forms of yoga in case they don't want to do Kundalini and they're curious about meditation and yoga, we have a few other chapters. But yeah, we need to get back into ourselves and heal those things that got damaged during COVID.
And Donna, I'd love you to come back and do another, perhaps an experiential with people so they can see how it beautifully. I mean, the lotus and the the sacral chakra.
Oh, and you know what? I should mention this. I'm doing more on my YouTube channel.
Okay.
So, you know, if people want to find, it's just Donna Davidge Yoga. And I have been putting some Kundalini, some non-Kundalini. There's a little Q&A about meditation that someone wanted me to do. A gentleman wanted me to do. It was very sweet of him. He said, you can record it on YouTube. So it's about a 15-minute thing on meditation. And so I'd love people to subscribe. And I think I had 250 subscribers, and now I have 312 or something once I started putting stuff on. So it's building a little. And I have a chakra course on daily Om. And I think that's where those 250 people found me, because I am not a huge self-promoter. I am, as I said, a solopreneur. So the marketing thing kind of falls a little bit to the side, but I am doing more now, and I'm enjoying it because it's helping people, you know?
Yeah. And you're out connecting, and they're connecting with you, and you're connecting to nature with your soul house. It's such a beautiful retreat area. And in your last week, Balancing with Bunions. Donna, thank you so much. And just some final words from you on the spot again. Wise words for women. It could be one for your
wise words for women. Well, I'm going to use this. It's from my teacher. It's at the end of Balancing with Bunions. I'm going to just use two phrases from it. Patience pays. Just be you. There's more to that. It's at the end of my book, Balancing with Bunions. It's a quote from my teacher. He says things like, stop chasing around, you know, get rid of your demons. There's more to it. But if we learn to be patient and just, of course, you hear the just breathe. Be patient. And in the end, very important, just be you, not what somebody else wants you to be, especially women in midlife who have the opportunity now to recreate. Maybe their children have, you know, left the nest. Maybe they're entering a new career, trying something new, whatever it is, really know who you are. This is your time.
Yeah, absolutely. And on those wise words, I'm going to say thank you so much, Donna. I look forward to that new book coming out. I want to be the first to buy it. And
thank you. We all need healing.
Thanks, Donna.
Thank you, Sarah.
Bye.
Bye.